Stories inspire me, and then definitely when we sat down and then you told me about your story, it really inspired me. And how did you came to this country and then doing big things within just short time? And I would love to know your story, man. If you can tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so Karim Ellis is the name. I'm Jamaican.
Yeah.
So I came to Canada almost around 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I did pharmaceutical sales back in Jamaica, and that's what I did for quite some time. I was very successful in that.
Yeah.
And I had to transition to Canada, so I was like, what field would I go into?
Yeah.
Canada has a way of, when you get here, it's not as easy as you'd think to do or to continue what you're doing back home. So
Yeah.
it's like, new leaf, new chapter.
Yeah.
Let me write something new. So I figured, I've always been someone that's interested in sales.
Yeah.
I've been doing it all my life. I love it. I love helping people. I love giving value, and I love just serving on a whole. So, I figured, how do I tie both of them together? And the vehicle that I chose was real estate, and I've been loving it so far. It's a learning experience. It's new to me, but I love it.
Yeah, I mean, like you just told me, like you moved here like 3 years ago. It's not
Yeah.
quite a bit. Like from moving here from one country to another, and then actually adopting their culture, and then getting into something, and then actually selling. Was it easy? Like, did you have like a big database, or like how did you start like doing it?
To be completely honest with you, no, it wasn't easy. I probably knew 5 people when I came to Canada, so my database was completely null, if you want to put it that way. It was challenging. As I said, I came here and I really didn't know much, but to me that was an advantage to me, in a sense where I had nothing to prove. There was no expectation on me, So it was like, all right, I know nobody. There's no ego behind it.
Yeah.
It's just go out and do. What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
And that's what I did. As I said, it wasn't easy.
Yeah.
Adjusting to the culture. I'm from a tropical country.
Yeah.
It's hot every day.
Yeah.
And coming into Canada where it's cold, you experience all the different climate change and
Yeah.
everything. Winter is rough. I've never shoveled snow.
Definitely, you must be diving in the sea or something, and then enjoy the water, right?
Exactly. There's no snow in Jamaica, so moving to doing that, and then having to deal with how the winter period actually brings your mood down.
Yeah.
Having to adjust to different cultures, and Canada is a very diverse, multicultural
Yeah.
country. So having to adjust how I talk, how
Yeah.
I interact with people. There are things that I would say back home that would swing, and there are things that I can't say here because
Like, for example.
people would interpret it differently. All right, I can tell you, I was having a conversation with a young lady at the time, just a regular business conversation, and she was telling me something, and it was something that affected her. So I said, hush. Right now, when I said hush, her whole demeanor and everything changed, and I was like, okay, what? In my head, I'm like, hold on, what the hell did I say? Where I'm from, when we say hush, it's kind of being empathetic and being all right. It's okay, When
Yeah.
we're kids and you're crying, your parents say, hush, it's all right, whatever.
So she took it like
She
you
took it
told,
like I was
told her
telling
to shut
yeah,
up.
shut up. And I was like, oh my God. So I'm like, all right, I gotta really watch how
Yeah.
how I interact with people. And I mean, that's just one of many stories. Like
I mean, like when you myself, I moved when I was 18 here from India, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the first rate is like, okay, the first language, right? And then actually the culture difference.
Yeah.
And then once you pass the culture rate, then you got to understand the people, how people take you here, and then bring sort of personality that you connect with the people. I mean, like you take a lot of small steps
Exactly.
to overcome, right? So how was the sales and back? Because I know, like you just told me that you wasn't in sales before, like
Yeah.
in Jamaica, and how's the sales different, like from there to here?
Sales is sales. Sales is sales in terms of you have a product and you move the product. The difference is when I did pharmaceutical sales, there were pharmacists there already.
It's like B2B sales or B2C?
So I worked with a distribution company, so I would go out and service the different pharmacies. So it's more like B2C.
B2C.
Right? So I was there and I was servicing. So there were pharmacies that were around, and I would go. So let's say I lived in Montego Bay and I serviced the entire Western Island.
Yeah.
So there'd probably be about close to 100 or so pharmacies that I'd visit.
Yeah.
Right? So my company, I'd get a set quota and I'd, go there back and forth and sell.
Yeah.
The difference is, of course, when new pharmacies emerge, you'd go and you try to win that business. So it still was a competitive field, as you know, sales is. The difference with real estate now is that getting someone out of their house or getting someone into their house is completely different, right? It's so emotional. It is really connecting with someone on a different level than you would with just in a pharmacy. In a pharmacy, I'm dealing with a doctor or a pharmacist. I'm not necessarily dealing with the consumer, right? I'm dealing directly with the business.
Yeah.
In real estate, I'm working and I'm dealing exactly with the buyer or the seller, right? And you go through all the journeys with them. You go through all the emotions, and sometimes it can weigh on you. So there are certain things that I had to develop, and there are certain skills that I didn't know I had to learn, and learn them fast.
Yeah.
Right? And every day is a learning experience. I mean, I don't know it all. I never act like I do know it all. And I mean, I just try to remain a student by the best way I can.
No, exactly. I mean, sales are already like a difficult job. Like if you're sales, like if you're watching, like if you do sales and stuff, like it's already like a difficult job. But here, like in Canada, like real estate isn't even difficult because a lot of competition and everything. Even in Ontario, it's like 70,000 realtors, and then getting the license, moving from different country, and then getting into sales, which is already a difficult part, and then getting into real estate, which is already too crowded, as people say. Well, like how do you differentiate like from other people? What do you bring on the table for a client? Like I know, like you've been doing a lot of business. How are you kind of articulating the model, like how you're connecting with people?
Honestly, I don't really try to reinvent the wheel, and I'm authentically myself.
Yeah.
I live by three things. I think we told you this before. When I go in any situation, the three things I look at is how can I give value, how can I add value, and how can I be valuable to that person or that situation. So that's really my key. Those are my key principles, and I just bring that to everything. My integrity is me.
Yeah.
You understand? When you say Karim Ellis, that's my name, there shouldn't be any bad thing associated with it, because when I go out there, that's what I put out there. So it's really just connecting with people and being real.
Yeah.
It's not trying to be somebody that I'm not or emulate somebody else. Yes, I do take things from other people who are where I want to be, and I add my own spin to it. So, coming from the Caribbean, I guess I also brought a little of the tropics with me, so people like that as well.
So you have that charisma that people like in tropical, right?
People gravitate to me, I've heard. So, I mean, I use that, and I use it, and I help others.
No, you're doing great things. Like, I mean, like, we sat down, we talk about real estate, we talk about so many other things, man. I love the vibes too. I mean, like, it really, because I really believe in the same thing that you told me, like, be valuable, like, be actually authentic. End of the day, we all are human beings. We are, like, here to help each other. But when you go into transaction, okay, it's just a process. Like, some people just live transaction to transaction. They just want to go sell the real estate. Right? But what do you believe in selling real estate? Like,
well, for one, I mean, for me, I don't look at people as transactions. I don't look at it as a dollar figure. You know, I know many people look at sales as, all right, that's just another number. I'm going to just knock that person off and that's it. To me, we're in a people business, it's a relationship business. So to me, it's getting to know that person, connecting with them, and building that relationship for future, however long that is. We had that conversation before, and we said, all right, I'm not just going to be your agent, I'm going to be your friend, I'm going to be the person who's going to help you fix a tile, a person you're going to call if you need any form of help, not just to think of me as your realtor, where, okay, it's just Karim, he sells my home. No, it's someone who you can probably invite to your baby shower.
Yeah.
You understand? So that's how I try to position myself out there. And yeah, you're right. The Canada market is is interesting, especially coming from a different country, and reestablishing, trying to rebuild. And as I said, I came here and I knew nobody.
Yeah.
So my network was pretty much zero. And the first couple of months, you get your license and it's like, okay, now what?
Now what exactly?
Know what am I gonna do? You just have that license, you're looking at it, you have a brokerage, and you're like, all right.
What's next?
What's next?
What I'm supposed to do? The same situation was with me, man. Like it's been 5 years, 5+ years. But like you get a license, you go like I joined a small brokerage at that point. I was like probably I get to learn a lot. But the guy was he was selling real estate himself, so he had no time. I thought like I get more attention, but like he was like, here, a piece of paper, here's a computer, go work. I was like, do what?
Exactly. I have similar experience, but to be honest with you, the brokerage that I chose, I did some research about them. Like I really did in-depth research, and I was comfortable with the decision I made. The broker of records there, he really helped me in the early stages, and even now, he helped me with my first deal. That was also interesting. Yeah. The first deal I got was a lease, and all the emotions are going through, and everything now is online. He made me do it manually.
Yeah, you were telling me about
so I had to fill out the form, write it up manually, drive to my clients. Now the funny thing is, it was 3 of them, so I had to drive to 3 different locations to get 3 different signatures to put on a paper, then back to the office to scan it, then upload it and send it to the other agent, while that list, that waiting process and everything. So it was like he gave me the hard way to do it, but it instilled in me the discipline that when I did it the next time, the easy way, if you want to put it that way, I know how to do everything. But
so did you get the deal done?
Oh yes, I did. I did get it. I did get it done. But as I said before, when you get your license, you it's like, okay, I'm out there. What next? The flip side to it, when I was in pharmaceutical sales, you got the job, you have a set amount of pharmacies that you visit.
Yeah.
So you're going there, you're more than likely going to leave with an order at the end of the day.
Yeah.
In real estate, that's not the case.
That's not the case.
You're going out there, if you're not active, then nothing will come to you.
Yeah.
It's 100% commission field. You're not being paid a salary.
Yeah.
So in sales, you eat what you kill.
Yeah.
And that is the real thing.
And sometimes you have to just wait for a long time to get the money, right?
Exactly. That also. So as I said, I had to learn a whole lot of things. Going out there, door knocking. I never did door knocking before in my life. In Jamaica, I came to Canada. Before I got into real estate, I worked for another company just a little bit to get my foot wet while I was studying for real estate, and I did door knocking. And man, that was an experience. However, I look at it in a positive light, because having had that experience, it set me up to now and go to do door knocking in real estate, which is much easier.
Yeah.
But then I was knocking on your door just to sell you something, and you'd run me from your door, because I'm just knocking at your door. Hey, would you buy this from me? As opposed to in real estate, I'm giving you value. Yeah. Right? My approach is a lot different. I'm not just the agent that's knocking on your door trying to get you out. Hey, come sell your house tomorrow. So that's not my approach, and I had to learn that the hard way. Also, being that it was the first time I did that, I experienced everything that you could have think of. Door knocking.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, it's different, like when you say, but it's totally different experience when you actually experience it. Exactly. I can tell you, like, I did the door knocking too, but like, it works, it's okay, like but the feeling, the experience, that the nervousness, you go, like you don't know what's gonna, like, who's gonna open the door and say what, right? Precisely. Like it's totally unexpected. Like going into that, like, sort of work, and then the frame of work, right? Is totally different than telling and then experiencing actually, right?
Man, you have to almost become so callous. Yeah. I remember there are days when I used to do the other job. I would sit in my car and I'd build myself up. I'd pump myself up before I knock on the door, and it'd be like hard, and I'd be like, okay, I don't know what's on the other side of the door, but you know, it's whatever. You'd pray you get a nice person that, you know, would give you
Yeah.
the time of day. I mean, I went into some communities, wealthy communities, and they spoke to you through the doorbell.
Yeah. Yeah, like what do you want?
Like, what do you want, man? Like get off my porch. You
Yeah.
wouldn't even see a face. So, you
Yeah.
know, and again, that's completely different from where I'm coming from
Yeah.
and what I was used to. So it wasn't easy.
So did you door knock like back in Jamaica too?
No, I've never door knocked.
So how's like sales work there? Like people are more friendly, like approachable, or like you is people everywhere like the same?
Jamaican people, we're friendly. It depends on the product that you do, right? I'm
Yeah.
sure they have different companies that do door knocking.
Yeah.
You go from house to house and you sell.
Yeah.
As I said, we're a small country, so we're a bit more friendly.
Yeah.
And everybody kind of knows.
Knows everybody. Yeah, that's
it's
nice.
the same set of people there.
Yeah.
So it's a different climate. When you come here, you don't know who's on the next door.
Yeah.
You don't know if they look like you, if they sound like you. You
Yeah.
don't know how they react.
Yeah.
So it was completely different. Get it when I got my license, and you know, I was like, all right, I don't know anybody. To be honest, I'm not somebody who likes being on camera or somebody who likes just randomly goes out and talk to people. So
Yeah.
that was also difficult to me. But I was like, all right, I have to eat.
Yeah, exactly.
So there are times I'd just drive around to random mortgage broker's office with my business card, just knock on the door. Hey, I'm a new agent. Here's my card. If you have any business or if you have any client, new business clients, I did that a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've gotten any business from it, but I did that a lot.
Did you like once you get the license? Did you jump like full time? Because a lot of people do like part time, quarter time, like you know,
Alright, so-
full time, and some people just go even more than a full time.
Well, yeah. Before I got the license, I was doing many other things while I was studying at the same time. So I did a bunch of other gigs because, as I said, I transitioned here, so I pretty much had to start from scratch.
Yeah.
When I got the license, yeah, I went full on in it. So that was also difficult because what they don't tell you, or where I'm from, is when you sell something or when you sell a product, I know I'm going to get that money probably the end of the month.
Yeah.
When I learned in real estate is that month can be 90 days, 60 days, you know,
Yeah.
so
Even more. Like
Even
it depends.
more.
Like if it's a regular mail.
exactly. So I know how to learn or pretty much master budgeting skills.
Yeah.
More financial literacy. You know,
Yeah.
you have to manage your money properly now, because you close a deal today, you probably won't get it until 3 months down the line.
Yeah.
And you know, you have to live, you have mouths to feed, you know. So I'm like, okay, this is a real deal.
Yeah.
This is a real deal. And again, I'm sure it's the same back home in real estate. I didn't do real estate back in Jamaica, so I can't talk on it, but I'm pretty sure the agents down there experience the same thing here.
Yeah.
It's just a different climate. And when I got into real estate in Canada, it was in the heights of COVID. So talking to people was different. People wouldn't approach you, you know. So it was like, okay,
Yeah.
what do you do now, right?
Yeah.
So
No, it's
been a journey.
different. Like totally, man. Like it's COVID. You came from different country and then getting into learning into the same phase, getting a license, and then going out there making a living, especially in that environment. It's not like something ideal or somebody handed out to you.
No.
But something like this is even like that's the thing. Even having those hardships and then you still killing in real estate. That's what like that's kind of inspires me, because a lot of people, they just get the license, they become a number because they just got the license, and then they kind of like, oh, it's not for me, or it's so hard, like you want to sit back, and then end of the day you try and then you kind of fail, and because it's a failing industry, man. I'll be honest with you, it's a failing industry. Like if you don't do it proper, like if you don't associate yourself in the right mindset and with the right people, like the industry is itself a failing industry. And then it's still having all those aspects and you're doing amazing things, and it just hats off. Within that period of time, like with the 2-3 years, you come here to get the license and then started getting your real estate and then connecting with people and making that a database, right? And that inspires me. Like, you know, you don't have to make $1 billion to inspire somebody, but like, you know, where you come from, where you started, and then after a certain time, what you achieved, that's like more inspiring about somebody rather than having, you know, getting handed out with something and then you already established or somebody pass you something. And it's totally different country, man. That's the thing.
It is.
Right?
Well, as I said before, you know, to me, it's just getting 1% better every day.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying I'm killing it. I have really high expectations of myself, so I'm still on my metrics. I'm still not there yet, but I'm getting there. As I said, I hold myself accountable a lot, and I just try to remain teachable, coachable, and I reach out if I see somebody that to me is killing it and they have what I want. I literally go to them and I'll ask them, you know, what are you doing? Help me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a student first, you know, so I never, as I told you before, I never act like I know everything.
Yeah.
And I'm still just trying.
There should be something that motivates you. So what's your motivation to do and make things happen in life?
My motivation, for one, I'm self-motivated. That's one. I get up and I have a high drive to motivate myself. But separate and aside from that, I have a young one. I have a daughter, and I mean she plays an important part for me because there are times when, you know, motivation it goes up and down, regardless of whoever you are. You have to build yourself up. But there are times I look back at my daughter and I'm like, you know, I have to make sure that she has the best life. She doesn't need anything, and you know, that is a push for me. Another big push for me is family, right? I have family back home, and there are things I want to do for them. And ultimately, the biggest motivation for me is freedom, right? I want to be able to help people without feeling restricted, whether it mean financially or any other way. Restrictions are something that I don't like them. So for me, those are my key things, and those are my motivation. So it's really just putting my best foot forward and working one step and just getting 1% better, as I said, every day, just to reach those goals, you know?
Yeah.
So that's ultimately what it comes down to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So when was how did you get your first listing? So you didn't know anybody. There was no database or anybody to contact. Like, so how did you get your first listing?
My first listing, it came. My first listing, not deal. Okay. So my first listing came, I want to say, don't quote me on this, but about 3 or 4 months in, or probably 6 months in. I was on social media, I was walking around just talking to people. You know, I was hosting a whole lot. I was an open house guy.
Yeah.
So anybody that had an open house, you could ask. They actually called me that at my brokerage, like every single week. Saturdays and Sundays, I was at the open house. I'd be active, so I'd be talking to people, and you know, I was on the road one day and my phone rang. No, lie. I got an email from a young lady who actually lived in Alberta, and she was like, "Hey, do you sell homes I see you sell homes in Milton, yada yada yada." And I was like, "Okay, cool. My mom has a place in Milton. I want you to sell." I was like, "Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll do it." I reached out to her.
So how did she reach out to you? Like, how
she reached out to me online. She saw me online.
So she used. She was following you on social media.
Yeah, she was following me on social media, and apparently she saw the activity from my page. So she reached out to me, and I connected with her immediately, because that's something with me. Like if you message me, I try to be as responsive as possible. So I reached out to her immediately, and you know, she told me what she wanted. I was like, all right, cool. Never listed a house before. so I'm like, okay, this is a do or die moment. Are you gonna say, hey, I've never listed a house before or whatever? So I was like, hey, listen, I'm gonna just put everything out there. I was like, yeah, sure, I can do it. And literally, she drilled me. she drilled me on the phone. She asked me, what am I gonna do for the house? What's the market like? What was a couple houses down the road that was sold? And I was like, wow, good thing I knew my information. I was like, I just went off on the phone because I'm like, I can't lose this one. This is my first listing. Funny enough, I doubt she even knows that she was my first listing. She hung up and she called me back because apparently she also worked at a brokerage with some. She also worked at a brokerage. She wasn't a realtor, but she worked at a brokerage, and she called me back with the broker of records of that brokerage. And both of them drilled me on the phone. So I was like,
it's like a back to back.
I was like, hold on, what the hell is going on here? I thought I answered everything, and he called and he was like, yeah, I was market like what that. So tell me about you, yeah. And I'm like, wow, I had the full blown interview on the phone that day. And the rest is history. I went to Milton, met her mom, and at the time though, as I said, I never listed a house before, so I knew nothing about staging. I knew nothing about photography. I knew nothing about any of that, apart from meaning I didn't do it before.
Yeah.
So I knew the theory, but I never did it before, and that's when I reached out to.
But you sold the listing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did.
Yeah.
I did. So I reached out to a member from the team I'm currently on, and I was like, hey, you guys are doing big things. I've done open homes for you guys, and I want you guys to help me with this listing. And from then, they helped me with it, and the rest is history. It turned it out that now I'm a part of their team, and we're doing good stuff together. We're giving value to each other.
Yeah, no, that's good, man. I mean, like these ones, the first ones are different experiences, like make history in your life, right? Those are the experiences when you just, it comes. I think it comes to the point of a choice, like either take or leave it.
Yeah.
Right. If you say like, oh, I haven't ever listed before, maybe I'll talk to come back, or you just be bold enough.
No,
right?
You'd have lost it. And the thing is, I didn't lie, because she didn't ask me if I listed at the properties before, right? She was just literally asking me what the market was doing, what would I do for the property, how would I market the property, all of that stuff. And I was like, listen, I'm not losing this one. I don't know this young lady from a tin of paint, but I must sell myself.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Grant Cardone, and there's this book that I read that's called Sell or Be Sold. You know that book. He pretty much said every day you go out there, you're selling something, even yourself. So I was like, listen, I'm on the phone, I'm not losing this one.
Yeah.
And I did my thing, and it turned out to. And funny enough, we have a great relationship now, a beautiful relationship. She's actually a realtor now.
Yeah.
And me and her mom, we're good. Me and her, we're good. And I mean, that's a beautiful thing about real estate that I didn't get with my other sales career.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have that connection with whoever I was selling to, right? So I don't even really call them clients at the end of the day. Like, they're family to me.
Yeah.
So after or throughout that process, you're not my client anymore.
Yeah.
We have a bond that you're my friend, you're family. That's how I look at it, and that's the
amazing thing was when we were having this conversation last time, you told me like somebody gave you dinner for your client gave you a dinner, and then you were there for to help somebody move.
My first lease, the first deal ever that I got. A year later, I went back to their house because their son had a baby, and I brought some stuff, and it was late, and she was like, "You're not going home this late without eating." And I was like, "All right, cool, mommy." And I got some nice curry chicken.
That's good.
I got some nice curry chicken there, and I mean, that's the kind of relationship you want to foster.
I mean, like, this is what I value too. Like, end of the day, I mean, business is business, but like the relationship you build throughout the process, even not like clients, and even like for us, like working in the same industry, like I like, man, you can do big things with the collaboration, right? Like if you just be decent people, like be decent person, and then connect with people.
Exactly.
It's not everything about money.
No,
right?
No. And that's why I said to you early on, like, to me, I never approach anything money first, because ultimately that's all you'll get. I've read a long time ago that if you help people get what they want, you'll ultimately get what you want. So as
Yeah.
I said, for me, it's always servicing and giving value first, and in turn, I'll get whatever I need 100-fold.
Yeah.
So I don't look at people as a dollar sign or as just a transaction. Because at the end of the day, if that's how you see someone else, then you'll never really get the true value that they can give, and you'll never really get what you probably should get out of it, because they'll also feel that energy from you.
Yeah.
Energy transfers and it gives off.
Yeah, exactly.
So if I just come to you and you ultimately feel that, hey, all right, this person just wants to sell me something, and then that's it at the end of the day, then that's all it will be. They'll probably use you for that deal, but let's say they turn out to have a successful real estate life where they build an empire. You could have been a part of that journey, but because you saw the smaller picture and you just looked at them as a transaction and a $20,000 or a $10,000, and not a human being that you can add value to, and you guys can be valuable together, then that's the end of that relationship right there.
No, that is I mean, it's what's your goal? If you want to go long term or short term, right?
Me?
This is the analogy that people just always think short term. They just think people as a dollar figure or a dollar amount, and then they don't know where the business is coming from down the road, right? I mean, if you connect with people, if you help enough people, definitely you're gonna make a good living too, right? And then plus you connect with people. There's no emptiness inside.
True.
When you actually truly connect with the people and then build that relationship and part of their family, and then part of their like what they have accomplished in their life, right? It's a different feeling to be a part of a family, right?
It is.
And you end of the day you're securing more relationships, you know. It's not like, especially like when we move from different countries, and then there's no relationship that our parents or somebody hands out to us. I mean, like, you know, and back home I'll be like, you know, this is your uncle, this is your aunt, like you gotta have a relationship with these people, this is your cousin, this is who, blah blah blah. But here you come in a company like you know nobody, right? And then nobody's here to guide you, teach you, or give you, hand you, or anything. Like you go build those relationships with your own, like, and then you build those relationships stronger because you know you want to be around those people, right? So I mean, a relationship I always put up for long term, like this is what like I'm building actually, right? And then I want to write like you know, Kevin Hart, like you heard about Kevin Hart, right? Man. He's the guy, like he said like really interesting thing one time, like he's like, we are always writing a book in our life, like, but end of the day it's your sole responsibility, like how good is it gonna be, like when you read it, when you close the chapter, like how good was the book?
True.
Right? So we are just writing a book, like you know, then somebody is gonna come read, connect with us, and then learn from our life.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
And this is everything about real estate, but I mean a part of everything, man. You know, you're doing amazing things. It was lovely to sit down with you, knowing about you, and he's doing out there selling real estate and helping people in Halton Hill. If somebody who's watching this video, please give us thumbs up and then share this video. And then if you have any real estate needs, you want to reach out to Karim, just please reach out, text me him on Instagram, Facebook, or he's on all social media platforms.